Hello, Professor Internet, and welcome to this video where today you'll see I'm in 1989 because I've decided to build a competitor to the Ibishu Kashira, which was actually a mod for BeamNG. Not an automation mod, but just a proper mod, basically. It's like a Pessima MPV of the old Pessima. It's the only way I can really describe it. And it came out in 1989, so that's why I've set the year to that. I do need to somehow compete with it. Now, the problem is, it's not like these two. It's smaller. But those two are the only MPV bodies I seem to have. And we're not going to cram 7 people in a pickup truck. Maybe 6, but even so, that's quite a small truck, isn't it? I don't think they would be very comfortable. The two rearmost seats in the Kashira, if you've seen them, they're not that good either. I know this is an old style wagon. I could only guess that, maybe. Oh, actually, no. The 75 oddly looks more modern. I think this could work if I put the right stylistic tweaks, if you can put 7 seats in, that is. You probably can't, but I'm going to try, because sometimes the larger estates you can put rear seats in. And the Mercedes E-Class, that definitely had rear seats, and I think a few of the old American cars did. So what are we going to do? Not aluminium. Partial aluminium is probably expensive, so corrosion resistant steel it will be for now. We'll go with a, not ladder, unitary chassis of galvanized steel. We'll go with a front transverse engine layout, struts, and double wishbone. Is that good? I don't know. Do we want double wishbone on the back is my question. Or do we want just torsion beam? I think torsion beam. Keep things cheap back there. I guess it means this won't be all-wheel drive, but do I really care about that? Sure, the Kashira has all-wheel drive variants, but this is not going against them. And even if it is, we can just beef up everything to deal with the extra power, so I would assume. The Kashira makes 175 horsepower in DX trim, which is the one I'm going for. It's absurd, really, for an 80s economy vehicle to make that much power. It's not even the sporty version. I'm pretty sure the Peugeot 205 GTI didn't make that much, just as an example. The Turbo 16 Peugeot 205 didn't make that much more. It's like somewhere between the 205 GTI and Turbo 16, just from a standard MPV, which is, it's crazy times, I guess, in the late 80s. Why have I gone with a Boxer 4? Okay. I think I know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go with a 3-cylinder turbo. Don't hate me for this, people. I know it. Yeah, 5 valves per cylinder, I think it's probably possible. I think actually a Mitsubishi of this model year, did have 5 valves per cylinder, so it's definitely possible to do it on a road car. It was a Mitsubishi key car. I think it was the first production car to have 5 valves per cylinder, if I'm not incorrect there. Although I could be, because, you know, I've not researched this. I'm just trying to think of it on the spot off the top of my head. Yeah, we'll go with a twin cam, but we'll go with 2 valves per cylinder. It is mainly for economy, so we don't need the most fancy technology in the world anyway. Whoa. What am I doing? A 2-litre 3-cylinder? No, we're going to go and make this a 1.3. Should be a sensible-ish size for a 3-cylinder engine. Try and level that up just a bit, yeah. There we go. So that head should help it rev higher. We'll go with cast iron internals for now. Ooh. I'm not certain of this, but if that is the economical kind of technology, then I'm going with that. If that's the economical version of cast iron. Unless, of course, you can't make any of them. Engineering time seems low enough, so what could hold you back? I guess the material cost's a bit higher, but you got to spend out somewhere, and if it comes for better economy, then it's not a bad place to spend out. We're going to go with a turbocharger, naturally. You can probably see where I'm going with this. The Kashira DX doesn't have a turbo, so we might be able to beat its torque. If we go with fuel economy, it's going to give us a little turbo. Ball bearing. Do we want that? How much is the difference in cost? Again, you can't really put a price on economy, so to speak. I don't know. Single multi-point injection. I am using 3 cylinders though, remember. That's going to help keep costs down a lot over using a 4-cylinder engine because there's just less to manufacture. This engine, yeah, I think I've got a 1.3. It would add, I don't know, just 400 and a bit cc's to it to make it a 4-cylinder, technically. And it would be a bigger engine if I did that. But if I just use technology, then it's going to go wrong all the time. Sure, it's going to fall to pieces after a few years. But it will at least look good on paper. We want to lean that out for better fuel economy. Probably make this smaller. I don't think we need bypass valves anyway. We want a high flow 3-way catalytic converter for economy. Single reverse flow muffler. And that should be all we need. Right, so get the what's it, RPM limit, and sort that out as well. It goes and revs to 8100, which is reasonably impressive, you know. I'm not too disappointed in that. Although my engine does definitely have that economy slant to it. It's not a high power race engine, so to speak. I'd say it seems smooth enough thanks to a good muffler on there. So, yeah, it might do okay actually. Now remember the Geo Tracker, as it was called, actually did quite well around the course. Because that had 80 horsepower, sure, but it was able to use that power incredibly well. So that's why I'm thinking to go with this. If I can make a car that is maybe not necessarily powerful, but uses its power to great effect, perhaps then I will be able to... achieve great things. I'm not settling for less than 100 horsepower though, and I don't think my customers will either. So 64, yeah. After 6400, it really does begin to go. The torque curve is all kinds of weird. Who knows what's going on there? 99 horsepower. So almost 100, it's just tempting me at this point. I could probably crank the boost up, to be honest. Like, the intercooler isn't even working, and... yeah. I can use the ignition timing to get a bit more power. That's got me up to 100. So we're not near the limits quite yet. So 71.5... yeah, that is 1,000 RPM away from the limit. I'm slightly worried about that. That is too close. I don't know. 102mm exhaust. So, this engine is, as well, very easy to fit in the car. So it should theoretically, at least for a turbo engine, be very easy to work on. So there is logic behind going for a 3-cylinder. Again, it sounds basically the same as it did before. It's 120-ish kilograms, which is no problem at all. Wait, what's that? Am I seeing this correctly? They give you a fender flared version for if you want to build like I would say Evo, but it's more like what's it? Not the Legacy, not the Subaru Legacy, the Mitsubishi Galant. That's it. I would say. I'd say if you want to muscle it up and make it more like a Galant, what's it called? GTO, is it? The estates are the only ones that are going to have the additional rear seats. Oh, we can have the extra muscle. I would say we don't need it, but then, given how powerful that Kashira is, we have to gain the handling where we can. And kind of lower the centre of gravity in the overall balance of things. So yeah, maybe we do need it. Ooh, there's all kinds of bodies here. That doesn't sound right. I've not murdered anyone, honest. No, seriously, there's all kinds of car bodies here. And we need a manual. Yes, we need to best execute that power, both in terms of economy. That doesn't make much sense. We both need to get the most economy out of it, and we also need to move the car at quite some speed. Look at that. It's a bit of an ugly shape now. I've kind of messed it up. But actually, if I do that, slightly better looking. Open differential. Radials. You probably can't put 7 seats on this, I've acknowledged that. Hard, long life. So I don't know why I was struggling to say hard, long life. But so I was. We'll go with solid discs front, drum wear. Or do we need, yeah. Let's have solid discs on the front. I don't see a particular need not to have them. We'll go with a no under tray at the moment. Oh, yes. So this is just as I'd hoped. It's more modern looking than the what's it? MPV. Well, no, not more modern. I mean, it looks vaguely modern while also being at least reasonably small. So there's that, and we can also maybe move the door forwards. This is like a complete limousine now. What have I turned it? What have it turned you into, car? The rear passengers certainly get big doors. So your doors can go back a bit. Because the rear doors are just too big. So what bodies do we actually have? I'm on that one now. And then we have other ones. I think we have like a 2-door estate available, but I'm not using that one. So it's kind of +2. But you can have 2 full seats in here, apparently. I'm doubting that's realistic, but hey, anything to give us an edge on the market. Or actually, no. Should we have +3 seats in the back? No, you know what? It's an estate. I think if we're going to have the extra seats, they have to be boot seats. And they have to be +2. Because let's be honest, you're not really going to have anyone comfortably getting in the back anyway. Mind, there is a lot of roof space. It's not got a low slanting roof like some modern vehicles do. It's got a very flat roof front to rear, so that means you fundamentally get the same headroom in the back as you do in the front. Now, this is where I question the torsion beam suspension. Would it have more space if I swapped that out for a different technology, I wonder? If I swapped it out for, say, double wishbone, would it have more space? I don't think it makes a difference, really. Trailing arm is probably better, but I'm going to make do with torsion beam. Try and make my money last, to be honest. Torsion beam's also pretty lightweight, so that's helping on that respect. It does look vaguely like a Volkswagen Golf Mark II, I must say. Maybe that's what the body is. It would make sense, but it is also kind of just a generic 80s shell, so who knows for certain. I think we'll go with a standard interior, so it's not ultra cheap, but at the same time it's not a premium car really, because, well, let's be honest, the Kashira isn't a premium car, but then I don't get the vibe that it's ultra ultra cheap either. We'll go with some variable steering. I don't think you're going to need traction control with what this car is. So we're going to go with just ABS, regardless of what the market says. Traction control just won't be needed. We'll go with some standard 80s safety and some progressive springs, I think is a good option. Why are you seeing this as a pony car? It's got 100 horsepower. A Fiat Panda has as much power as this does. Oh dear. Well, it was a special edition Fiat Panda, but how about this? What's it? Skoda Fabia has as much power as this. I know that for a fact. Even a Volkswagen Lupo has as much power as this. How is that for cars, eh? It does do good miles per gallon. I mean, 33.9, not the best in the world, but look at how lightweight this thing is. It's so much lighter than the Kashira's 1646 kilos. We're like 600 kilos down. This is amazing, really. It is front bias, but it's front wheel drive. What do you expect? I wonder if we could go front engine rear drive. That would make a fun car, wouldn't it? I'm getting distracted, but it would be good for loading it up, and it would be good for... I shouldn't be... I shouldn't do it. I know I shouldn't do it, okay? I've acknowledged that. But I'm crazy, so I'm going to. Admittedly, it does have its advantages when it comes to servicing. That cannot be denied. The closest I can go on the rear suspension, I think, is solid axle coil. That's the closest to what I had. Although, do I want that? Probably. I probably want to recoup some of my money I've spent on actually making it rear-wheel drive in the first place. Where are the rear seats going to have any leg room? I don't know. Anyway, this is going to be rear drive. It has to be rear-wheel drive. So, I guess you could have the rear seats facing backwards. That's one way of doing it, though. Because, although it's a very rare thing to do, it is the way the Mercedes E-Class works. You just use the boot, basically, as a large door to have people get in and back into the back seats when it needs to happen. I mean, fundamentally, this is not a permanent 7-seater, but they're like extra seats. The Kashira is the same, though. Those seats, I think, just looking at that car, you can tell... They're so cramped, you're not going to be having people in them for long distances anyway. Right, so we'll have naturally put some weight onto the car and maybe hurt economy. But I can't help myself. It's just such an amusing idea to have a rear-wheel drive lightweight vehicle. We just always end up doing these as front-wheel drives, and to kind of break out of it, I guess, and have something a bit fun at the same time would always be a good way to go. Wait, I've gone longitudinal. Yeah, I thought it'd gone front-wheel drive. I was intending rear-wheel drive. I'm not going to be able to go with 155, so if it is sending power to the rear, because it needs at least a decent level of traction, so it's going to need slightly wider rear tyres. I still don't believe it's going to need traction control, unless I do end up going absurd with the power, but I don't think I will, you know? Craziness. Craziness will ensue. Max boost. I think if I go with about 15 PSI, should be able to rack that intercooler up. Maybe rack the compression down, or wherever it goes. Compression wants to go up again. Okay. You can go up like so. I don't know. I don't know about what I've done. I've increased the boost and I'm not really getting any more power. So, is that a bad thing I've done? Probably. Ooh. Mind, I am making a lot of low-end power. 6100, and it seems to fade off a bit late. It doesn't, like, immediately just take a sudden dive. Although, the markets apparently want the revs limited. It would be good for reliability, because as I say, there's loads of extra space now. And do we want to do anything with the turbos? Wait, 97, 99, 101, 103. And we can use the max boost perhaps to change the values. Ooh, I'm able to just use the, what's it here? The turbine is getting me excellent power. Who would have thought it's just as simple as literally increasing the turbine? I mean, I know that's increasing lag, but if I then decrease this, it balances out the impact, so the impact isn't near as big as it was. Like, I've still not dropped below 110 apparently. And then I can easily just retain what I've done there. Or so one would think. I'm going to kind of keep the turbine bigger just to move the power back, hopefully. Or maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, I'm no good at this. So, 42. Basically, a bigger turbo. Which go figure, a bigger turbo making more power. It's nothing to surprise us particularly. I think if we leave it there, we're fine. Now, I don't want it to lag any more than that. It has got turbo lag. It is clear and it is present, so yeah, the turbo lag can hopefully be sorted. Remember that this is a lot lighter than the Ibishu, so we don't have to go to the same levels of power as that car. If it can't make the power, then it can't make the power and I can just leave it there. I can rev it higher now, though. Not that I wanted to do that. I'd rather have it a simple low revving engine that just goes on forever, but unfortunately, if it needs to rev higher to make the performance, then I'll have to rev it up. 123, I'm happy with that power output, I think. I'm not really happy with it. I mean, I'm not very happy with it, so to speak, but I'm happy enough with it. And then if we flare these arches out, now, this might make it look like more like a performance car, but there is a legitimate reason I'm doing it. It's nothing to do with performance. Nothing to do with at least speed type of performance, should I say. It's to do with actually kind of giving it a wider track, which in turn will mean I'll have to use less stiffness in the suspension to stop it rolling over, which in turn will mean it will ride more comfortably, because generally softer springs are more comfortable, unless you can go too soft for springs to be comfortable, but yeah. It's a wide body, fundamentally. I don't think I've gone too far. I think it's doing what it needs to do. 175 tyres are very narrow, but they should do the trick. They should be wide enough to put the power down to the road. Who can really argue with that? So I think as long as I can get plus 40 track on the front, I should be good. I kind of want this to be drifty. I won't lie. I want this to be a drifty car, because that's how you get your fun out of it. Whereas the Pessima is just responsive and good round corners. This car is going to be a complete lunatic of an economy car. Basically, I've built the Toyota AE86 Estate, and I couldn't be happier. It is heavier than the AE86. It is 1157 kilos, so it's about 200 kilos heavier, would you say? But it's got the turbo, which should theoretically give it more grunt than that car had. I wonder how the weight balance is. Yeah, that 52 front, 48 rear, that was part of my reason for actually going for this, because the weight balance was so good that it would be a shame to just throw it away on a front-wheel drive car when it is this well balanced. Now, how is the economy? Oh dear. Oh dearie me. This is not looking good at all. Oh no, it's okay. We're gaining some back. It's not as bad as I thought. But still we're under 30 miles per gallon. For my economy car, that just won't do. We need to have a little torque economy car. So I think that we should change. Yes. Sorry, no turbos. No turbos on you. Now I'm building a Volvo. I can't help myself, okay? Raise intake. No. That's just needlessly expensive. I'm building a Volvo now, it seems. That's just the way things are. And I don't want a 2.6. Ooh, yes. High revving Volvo-y goodness. Which isn't really a Volvo, but... yeah, wait. Stop lying to me, engine. I know for a fact you're not a turbo. I know for a fact you're not a turbo. You can't kid me like that. Oh, dearie me. Now you've gone down on the pony ranks, even though you should be a pony even more than you were before. Wait, is the engine still lying? Yes, it is. You're not a turbo. Just get it into your head. I know you liked the turbocharger, but you have to acknowledge that was in a past day. The car engine is revving higher, naturally. And my base model has an inline 6 because it does. So we've got 7900. This should be very smooth, very nice power plant. I'm building a car completely differently to what I thought I would build. It's got lighter with the 1.0 inline 6. The economy hasn't really changed, which is a shame. I was hoping it would get better. Despite that, I think the only solution is to go bigger. However, that makes a bigger... well, it's bigger. No, that makes a heavier car, and that makes it not as good. I don't know. How am I going... ah, I've got an idea. I've got a really good idea. So, if I go for a... this would have been pretty cutting edge back in the late 80s, but it would have probably been technology that's out, I have to say. For 1989, I think the odd Honda might have used 4 valves per cylinder, so it was definitely a viable technology. Would it have been twin cam 4 valves per cylinder? I don't know. Or would it have been single? I think it would have been single overhead cam, because you have to save money for like all the money you spend on the system. Oh dear. Plus it's an inline 6. We've spent more money on the actual number of cylinders. Ooh, 12,400. We're never going to be revving it that high. The game doesn't even let you rev that high. Come on. 66. I want at least 100 horsepower. And 70. Yes. Oh. Time for the extremely expensive injection. No, it didn't really make a blind bit of difference having that. Maybe like 1 horsepower and something. 1 and a bit horsepower. So 7,600. So 500 I even saw at one point. 81. Yes. Find your power. This engine is going to blow up quite easily. I can foresee it now. I might have to change it then. Again, I might have to change it from an inline 6. Because that's not going to work. How about a 5-cylinder growl? Or actually, no, a V6. You know, I prefer the natural balance of an inline 6, but a V6 is very good for balance. And it will fit in the car just so well anyway. So I think if I go with a 1.5 V6, we are still looking at a small engine here, remember? And this is supposed to compete with a DX, sure. Wait, I didn't actually look at the suspension prices and whatnot. Engineering time, 1.12. So, is that our cost? New material cost, 4191.2. Ah, semi-trailing arm. That one is probably better. It lowers the overall costs as well. And it is semi-independent, which is better than non-independent, I guess. This car is good. I'm liking it. Oh, yes. So our single, or twin cam technically, because there's two heads. Twin cam V6 is making the stuff, really. It's making the power that we want it to make. And again. No. How on earth am I supposed to get to like this when it doesn't make the power when I need it from this tiny engine? Oh, dual exhaust, save me. Given it's probably better than having one massive exhaust. Probably looks a bit less obnoxious. Ah, there we go. Dual exhaust was a secret. Or just making the exhaust smaller because they were so massive to begin with. 125. That's good. That's good power. However, how will the economy be from this? Oh dear. Or so I say, oh dear. I don't know for certain because it's not kind of snapped in yet to a specific figure. No, 24. This is supposed to be an economy car, remember? I like it to be light. That's all I can really say. I guess I'll have to go with a suboptimal weight balance. You know, I hate to say it, but I think the only way out is just to go with your conventional 2-litre 4-cylinder. I think that's the only real way that I can get the power I want and also get the economy, because I could bring cam profile down, but then I want about 125 horsepower from it, and that would just stop me getting it flat out. We'll go, oh, actually, no, Boxer. We can keep this car interesting then, and we can keep the weight balance good if we go with a Boxer 4. So that's how I'm going to do it. Why am I going with a full aluminium engine? The market might not like it. I don't know. Honestly, fun budget is pretty good. It's at least vaguely a family kind of car series. So we'll go with a twin cam Boxer engine with 4 valves per cylinder, which should be pretty good overall. I've not actually changed much size, so it's gone to 1 litre. If I go with a 2-litre Boxer engine, the weight balance shouldn't be too bad because of how the Boxer engine is mounted quite far back actually in the overall chassis. So we'll go with 1999 cc's, so it fits into the Japanese size categories, because I think under 2 litres does something to your road tax or whatnot. So that's why it would be that large, exactly. Similar weight, yeah, overall, which is good despite the larger engine size. 51% front still, so it hasn't really changed. We have still fundamentally got a good weight balance thanks to that Boxer engine, which it thinks is an inline 3 because it's not updated it for whatever reason. I don't know. Ooh, so if we do that, we can easily extract power. Do we want easy power though? Maybe not if it means sacrificing dual exhaust, which sounds cool. I don't know, where does the dual exhaust add weight? Because if it adds weight at the back, I don't mind so much. As long as the balance is here. This is an economy car, I must remember. An MPV, technically. That engine struggles to fit in an important sideways dimension, but it's fine. Not like anyone's gonna try and fix it themselves. They'll just see a load of mechanical bits and go, I'm not going in there. Well, it might, but, you know, why not go into our shop? We charge you money to do it. We charge you money to do something you could do yourself. How could you not like that service? There we go. This is now going to have to change. I say that as I've got loads of power, but we'll see the economy is probably going to be dreadful. Actually, I've just remembered as well, the Boxer engine, which isn't showing, I think is a naturally balanced engine. So again, I should be going with the smoothness that I do so desire from my cars. This looks terrible, though, for fuel efficiency. Please tell me it's not. Even if it's a lie, tell me it's not. It's mainly because it's so powerful, I think. I'll be honest on that front. 150. Yeah. It was kind of at the optimal exhaust point there. Whoa. So, if I try and go with about 50, let's say. 78. Ooh, that is working out for me. 123, almost exactly what I want. As I said, 125 is what I want. How is the miles per gallon now? Yes, that is more like it. So now the power has dropped, so the economy has gone up. I don't know, though. I had the turbo inline 3 and it was similar to this, I guess you could say. Which is actually quite impressive on this engine's front, because this engine is a naturally aspirated unit. So they don't normally match for turbos for fuel economy. Right, 54. I think if I go 59, 60, and then I try and adjust this to match, let's see what I can get out of it. No. 62. There's something about the cam profile that isn't working. So if I can get this to go at max 6100 as well, that should be pretty good for the preservation of the engine. Given the RPM now is currently far too high, as the RPM is going to sit in the future, things should work out quite well. Right, so I think the inline 3 might have actually revved higher. Yeah, I think it revved about 400 RPM higher. But it's not going to matter, because we've easily got the extra space. 89.3. So 1000 RPM as well, which is good. I've maybe built an engine that's far more solid than I was expecting it to be. Come on, 128. 129. No. Okay. 129, 130, and 130. If I can go with a lower ignition timing, I think that's good. I think a lower ignition timing is technically good for economy. I could be wrong there. Advanced timing. No, it says better fuel efficiency for advanced timing. Okay. Sticking that right the way up and seeing if I can compensate with compression. Rightio. So... you don't like that. 27. And lower the ignition timing. Do. Oh no. What have I done? I might have moved it the wrong way actually. No. Okay, 27. I think this might be like a golden zone for economy. No, maybe not. Ooh, 27. So 64, there we go. Maybe it's not the best point for power, but... ooh, but look at that. So, 6,300. You'll probably want to rev higher now as well. Oh well. 6,800. We've still got 900 RPM free of the power curve completely. It does drop more steeply than I think I've noticed it before. And can we do anything with the exhaust? I wonder. Ooh. We got a bit by making it smaller there. Now, 130 kilos, that's not bad. That's not far heavier than the first inline 3 with a turbo that we started off with. How about adjusting this now? There's only so much I can do to actually get this car to function for me as an economical machine. There we go. I can speak. I can speak somehow, sometimes. 131. Let's see if I can match that with a single exhaust, as they're usually cheaper. Ooh, better still. I can beat that power output with a single exhaust. It's just usually cheaper to go with two that combine into one than two that stay separate. It's also not stupidly massive, which helps. So that's good. It fits into a few categories, but it only excels at like pony and pony budget. Fine, I'll try and build it as a pony car. I could. No, but it's not sporty. I don't know. I've not even tuned the suspension yet. Let's see what tuning the suspension gets me on it then. Comfort. Comfort puts it under utility. Passenger fleet, interestingly. Normal. Sport. No, I have to have it on comfort suspension. Maybe a bit lower, but on comfort, definitely. This is amazing. So, can we lower it still? I don't know. I don't think we can really lower it. Okay. So what you see is what you get on this car. Which is okay, because it doesn't sit too stupidly high off the ground. This way. How about the dampers and stuff? I didn't actually pay much attention to it. I just stuck some on. They seem to like it as it is. If anything, passenger fleet is probably the closest to the actual... what do you call it? Passenger fleet is probably the closest to the Kashira. Utility is not really what it was designed for, but again, it could be a utility vehicle. You can see the utility in there. I'm going for passenger fleet, I think. We could have an off-road skid tray, which I don't like. 74.5. We like the semi-clad and fully clad a reasonable amount, but not as much as just having no under tray. So 27.3. I'm going to have that for the fuel economy, because everything you can get is important. Every tiny bit of economy. 9.4 to 60. For something that's not sporting, it's very okay. Almost 1,200 kilos though, unfortunately. So 27.3. If I can beat that, I will be pleased, but I think it's kind of unlikely. 0.4. Ooh, I saw 0.4. You know what? I'm not going to do that. For the decimal point of a mile per gallon, I'm actually going to go for the fun option. Because some things miles per gallon can't buy. And some things miles per gallon can't buy. That includes a way to my heart. But it's not the only thing you can't get by just adjusting the miles per gallon. So that's not going to affect the miles per gallon, but it may affect the acceleration. Yeah, 9.1, 8.9, 8.8. So as long as I have these kind of tighter low down, I can have 8.8 seconds to 60. That, in my opinion, is not bad at all. Remember, this is a relatively lightweight estate car. At least for the time, it's probably average, let's be honest. But compare it to more modern things, it soon shows us how light this is. It's just 1180 kilograms. Right, and 200mm brakes. Pony really likes it. Pony Budget, rather, really likes it. So 74.3. They just don't like having brakes on their car. I think passenger fleet, if you just cut the brakes on their car, it would suddenly like fly up to 174.3. They just don't value the safety of the brakes, like, which is weird because brakes are an important safety feature. Oh dear. Maybe it's just because they're so depressed in life that like the car is just a tool and they don't actually see any point in getting a safe one even. They're just like, it's a car, how is it any different? 74.4. And oh dear, I've gone down on that. So I've gone with as big brakes as possible on the front and as small as possible on the rear, within the markets of course. And that should give it good performance round a course. I don't know what else to do. Oh yes, the materials. I just wonder how light it would get with aluminium. I'm going to just check. 1095, yeah. I won't gonna stick with that though, because it's gonna be pricey. Although they do prefer it, it is limited production. 74, 81.2, they like that, but Pony Budget. Why is this so much of a pony car? Oh dear. I did make it rear wheel drive because I wanted to, basically. No other reason for doing such. And there's fiberglass. They don't like that at all. Utility oddly likes making it out of fiberglass. I don't know. Maybe because you can use it as a boat afterwards, but that is not what the intention is for most of these cars. How about making it out of a better chassis material? No. You're so set against that idea. I'm going to spend more on galvanized steel. As I say, anti-corrosion is important to me. There's also ladder frames. There's ladder frames, but they don't like them, which makes sense. Oh, we can actually go with solid axle coil on the front. I think that must have got changed before because for some reason it's been like that. 81.4 on passenger fleet. 81.9. Someone explain this to me, please. Why is live axle coil better on the front than McPherson's strut? That just won't fly if you ask me. We have to save money. Yeah, double wishbone is an entire different world. That's nowhere near as good according to it. So 76.1. I think that's actually heavier than strut, so I don't want that. I want the better balance, so less weight at the front, more weight at the rear, technically. If we go 81.9, can we match that? 81.9. Yeah, if I go with double wishbone on the back, that balances it out. Yeah, McPherson strut and double wishbone. It gives us fully independent suspension, and the double wishbone is probably quite light. So the overall weight should be slightly lower as a result of those decisions in design. However, I don't know, 52% front, so it's a bit front biased now. But what can I say? I wanted independent suspension. Now I can set it to comfort and see how it is. 84.2 as you just drone along. Pony budget really wants this car. I don't know why. Utility. Okay. I thought it said farm utility for a moment. What, are you going to use this as a tractor? I know, it's rear wheel drive. It's likely to get stuck in the mud. I mean, rear wheel drive is like the worst drive line to use in really thick mud. At least that's what farms are using here, because, well, maybe not really thick mud, but farms here have mud because we grow potatoes and the like. I guess if you're in Africa, and I don't know, they might grow coconuts. I'm not good with my geography. But anyway, I've apparently built a pony car, even though it's got no power to it. Were the 80s really that depressing of a time that even a pony car only had 130 horsepower or so? Oh, dearie me. Yeah, it's barely even 130 horsepower. Wait. Actually, I've had an idea for the engine. I wonder if we could go quad cam again. So, this may work. I don't want to go too crazy. Dual overhead cam. Try 2 valves per cylinder. Should do the trick. Should get the power that I desire. If not, it should get me close enough. Okay, 27. And you've gone up, which is interesting. 68. I can't go 3 valve per cylinder on this, unfortunately, on the dual overhead cam. On the dual overhead cam heads. So 128. Pony really likes that. Passenger fleet 86.5. Yeah, they like dual overhead cam like that. I think it should be good for economy. This is pretty well proven technology as well by this point. Twin cam with 4 valves per cylinder? No, that wouldn't have been proven by 1989. But I know there were twin cam cars in the 50s. There was the MGA twin cam, which I've actually got a video on, which I did in Forza. So, yeah, that had a twin cam engine. This is 27.7 miles per gallon. I think that might be a little better than before. I want to do something with the tweaking of this engine. How lightweight is it, or heavyweight is it? So, I think for the sake of just getting the... No, I have to go into a Japanese size category and go 1999, I think. And Does that affect economy? I have to check this because I think one of the parts came along, one of the piston parts, and it just really improved it. 27.7, okay. And what's it with this? And come on. No, it's the same. Okay, so that's a way I can save a bit of money. It's just one of the pistons at some point in time came along and it saved a lot of economy. Although, having said that, the markets appear to really take a nice note to it. Must be said. How about family utility? Yeah. Even family utility prefers it. They don't prefer forged, they don't prefer heavy forged, but they like that. How about heavy duty cast? No, you don't want heavy duty pistons, really? Even you. Wait, why doesn't utility and family utility like cast? Family utility may actually be a better fit now I think of it. Family utility beginning to come in here may be a better fit because, well, it's a family car with a capacity to transport and haul things, which is essentially what an MPV is. How about this? They don't really care too much. Yeah. I mean, the fact the market's like that, I'll probably keep it on. So, how about the cam profile? If I just adjust that. Again, so I've kind of adjusted it to the point it's 6300. And that is, I think, good enough. Compression doesn't need to change. I could try changing the ignition timing. I think I got like a fine increase. I think I got a very fine increase. Yeah. I got a tiny increase changing it to 69. Yeah, make what jokes you will. For the fact that the ignition timing just happens to be on 69. Oh, dearie me. No, they don't like per cylinder. Okay. How about dual exhaust? Do they prefer that? No, they don't. They don't like the larger exhaust that gives me more power. That drops the torque, and it hurts the overall power curve, I reckon. So I'm told it gives me more power, but it gives me more power for such a brief second. No one's actually going to be able to enjoy that power, because it just doesn't last. So, 81.3, 82.4, yeah. No, 130 is what it's making. We could go with a straight through. 132. 80.8. 82. I've lost power that way, but I guess they prefer this way of muffling. Okay. And then I can try adjusting the ignition timing. Yeah. 71. Sometimes these little changes have to be made, but that's fine. I think this engine has become a nicely evolved and a polished machine, shall we say. Oh, now even the RPM limit's joining in. That's 6,900. This game's just playing tricks on me at this point. I've got only just 130 horsepower. Like, only just. I wouldn't accept anything less because I know what this engine's capable of. Oh dear. Right, so have we got everything here that we want? I'd like to say it's better, but I don't know for certain. Oh, you like bigger brakes, okay? Ooh, I feared I would have to go too big with the brakes there, but I don't. So 82.4, 0.5, 0.6. Yeah, this market actually does value brakes. Perhaps they value brakes too much. Can we afford these? I don't know, they're certainly big. So we should be able to... adjust that. I'm making it smaller now. The drum brakes needed to be too big for me, so I'm having to now get some discs and make them small. I wouldn't want to spend this kind of money on all-round disc brakes, but hey, there's no denying this is going to be a performance monster now compared to other vehicles. Pony Budget is like going crazy about it. 83.3. Yeah, family utility as you would expect. Prefer the hard long lives. So 83.3. Do you want narrow tyres? Yeah. Okay. 83.8. 78.7. Okay. Tyres of questionable safety. Check. Would you call this car safe? I certainly wouldn't. Just adjust the brakes once again to check that the car is safe. Or not safe, or whatever. The front brakes barely fit within these wheels. I don't know about the wheel size. I need to change the wheels because I'm not sure, as I was saying, the size may end up putting me off. These are definitely too modern, but they look small, but they work. They're kind of what I need. I may inch them up just 1 inch. No, you don't like that. You like the 13 inches. It's been on from standard, okay. I'm fine with putting the 13 inches on if the market enjoys them. Wait, do we want alloys? No? No, you're not going to go with anything fancy, are you? You cheapos. You're cheap people. 82.9. I was just wondering what difference that would make. Ooh. 83.8. No. You were just happy with it the way it was. So, 83.8. Sport. No, standard. 81, 80, 83.8. Now we can try cassette. Okay. You don't like cassette. And it costs a lot of money. So we can both agree on that. Again, as I was saying, we don't need to spend the money on that, so we're not gonna. Even if the market tells us to, why spend the money and the time developing traction control when the car just doesn't need traction control in any way, shape or form? I'm thinking I might go with a differential if the market is in agreement with any of them. So 83.5. Hmm. 77.7. The Vicious doesn't cost too much. The Geared does. Problem with the Vicious, the market doesn't like it one bit. To be honest, having an open is probably better because it'll just spin up the wheel with the least grip. Now I think of it. This is going to be a good car to modify, believe me. It's actually like an E30 M3 with less power. If you actually put the power in and put wider tyres on, this would soon become a monster. It's even got 51% front weight. It's got all the hardware you need. Even a boxer engine that keeps the weight balance lower. Theoretically, at least. And about 200 kilos heavier than an A86, as I say. Can we lower this now? No. Okay, I think I might have been able to lower it like 1 point and get away with it. No. I think it's 210 and then it becomes absolutely unbearable for them. Do we need to lower it at all, though? I don't think we do. Honestly. It's fundamentally an MPV. Estate. Or an estate pretending to be an MPV. So, yeah. I mean, I'm questioning the twin cam engine. The economy isn't that great from it, actually. Twin cam, you make me mad. I wonder. 3, 4, no. Okay, 6. So, there's got to be that. Yeah, 141. 9.2. 9.1. 8.9. It doesn't like the particularly long gears early on. I think the single overhead cam might have been better, but hey, I'm going with a twin cam anyway. I've done that now. Decision's been made. Old comfort value. It's apparently not very comfortable. Why are my cars never comfortable? I put it on comfort suspension. Ah, which, speaking of which, 79.9. No. I'm not going with adaptive. They're probably too expensive. Progressive. They work. So, what have we got here? The rear ride frequency is low. Reducing drivability, sportiness, and comfort. Try increasing rear spring stiffness. There we go. The rear dampers are soft. Okay, wheel spin is reducing the car's drivability. You see, this is a tricky one. I've probably bought it on myself and all, but I kind of want the wheel spin. The wheel spin makes it exciting in a car which isn't supposed to be exciting in any kind of way. Yeah, family utility, I've not done a good job of it. I've done a good job of utility, oddly. But family utility can't afford it. Oh well. I need to actually put some design on this car, so yeah, I'm happy with those wheels, so I can leave them the way they are. Mirrors. What can we have here? These are probably too modern. I just put the wrong mirrors on and then I'm like, hey, I can't be bothered changing them. I at least put mirrors on, deal with it. I don't know, they kind of work actually. I don't know. No, they don't. Not for me. How about these? Go with that retro Japanese touch. Like so. And yeah, I quite like them being just on the bonnet like that. I think if I am able to rip off every old car design ever, I can have some round headlights. We can go and hopefully duplicate them. I know. You should work. Move them out. I'm not going to put indicators on this grille. This top grille here. I'm going to put them lower down. No, I don't like them. They stick out too much. They might work on a classic car, but not on this. So, I don't know. How about these? Whoa. Weird bug eye. Oh, they don't exist anymore. Just forget about them. They decided they don't exist. Okay. These ones look like what I'm needing. There we go. So, I'll probably have to change the colour of them when it's been decided how this car's going to look, but for the time being, I'm pretty pleased with them. There we go. And as I was saying, I may need to change them. How about... no. I was going to say have that in a certain way, but it's just not going to work. I think this is a Dodge Charger grille, which, for the kind of whip-off design I'm doing, is just perfect. Yes, we're whipping off the Dodge Charger on a classic Dodge Charger on a small Japanese MPV. You know, what dad doesn't want to drive one of them, though? It's like one of those things. They're just so much cooler than the car you can actually buy. Come on. You could easily hot rod one of these, so let's just say that. These could easily be hot rodded. And, duplicate you. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Or actually, no. We need to keep it fair and reasonable. There we go. That works. It looks a bit weird, but if I made those lights too big, they were just a bit too obnoxious. Indicators. These should do the trick. Like so. And we need a grille down here. So how about this one? Flip it up the other way. It looks older than it is, I would say. Yeah, that cuts the bumper a bit, but what can I do about it? There we go. There is our kind of rushed job of a front end. We need maybe to get a number plate. Concept. There's no way anyone would really manufacture this car. It's too ridiculous. And there we go. Well, I say that my company would, but then my company's slightly crazy. There we go. And again, it's cutting through the bumper. What can I do? I need some tail lights. Actually, maybe I've had an idea which might work or might not. Yeah, these are too modern for an 80s rear bumper, but I can dream. Right, so you can rotate to be more or less straight. How about flipping these up? Does that work? No. So then, maybe I could change the actual lights inside. Brakes. Yeah, there we go. It's not going to work though in this era of car. With those lights. I could just tell looking at it. Ooh. Yes. So, you can go sit back there. They actually look quite good. I didn't think of using them this way before. They are headlights, naturally, but... I say naturally as if it's normal to do this. No, they are headlights, but they should work. There we go. And... we need to add some badges. Yeah, we need a load of badges under our bonnet. No, why am I going on this one? I don't want this one. Oh. Oh well. Looks like I've already chosen it. Right, so this is going to be our badge because I have accidentally chosen it. And I can't admit my mistakes when I'm wrong. Of course not. So, round we go. It's also easier to just do this than it is to try and find another badge. It's like Destiny has chosen my badge. So, I think that's all we need. Oh, we need an exhaust pipe. Now, I need to check one thing here. Did I have a single or an exhaust? That's a dual. I need to get the... what's it called? Exhaust tip. Yeah, just go... I would say go out the middle. No, go out the edge. We don't want anyone to suspect there's anything weird about this car. Until you see one in a tree, you won't know there's anything weird about this car. It's just a normal economy car, really. Apart from the fact that it's rear-wheel drive. It's actually like the first generation Lexus 200. It's basically the successor to the A86, but no one knew because they just branded it as a Lexus, and then no one knew what it really was. And then they did eventually find out, but until then, people were stuck thinking they were just another Lexus in a long line of floaty luxury boats. Which they weren't, because they were far sportier than that. Sorry about the silence, I'm just trying to get that balanced, and I think I've done now. It does look odd. It looks obscure. How about calling it the General Cars General Cars Obscure Tim, because it has to be called Tim. Yeah, this car is probably a dangerous nightmare to drive. Wheel spin! Anyway, let's just hope I can keep this under control for enough time, yeah, to get a good lap out of it. Anyway, where's the beam exporter? Should be somewhere around here. There we go. I'll meet you in beam. Okay, so here we have our vehicle, which is obscure, let's say. If I turn the lights on the front, we'll see we do have rear lights, kind of. I don't know. Indicators, do they work? Yeah, as you would expect. I've got a double rear boot handle, as always. And I think all we have to do is... well, when you're doing a time trial, it generally helps to, you know, actually learn that you need to change into the gear and get going. Anyway, slow it down. So far I'm liking this. We've got a smooth boxer engine. Oh, smooth boxer engine mated to rear-wheel drive. It feels surprisingly nice. Whoa. I'm surprised more car companies haven't done that. And my headphone cable's all over the place. Come on, over there with you, I say. Oh, as I turn the wheel, oh dear. Come on. Speed, oh dear. It just loves to turn. It just loves to turn, like, it doesn't matter where it is, it loves to go somewhere. It loves to just say, here's a direction, I'm going to turn into it. Woo! Thanks, comfort suspension, you helped there. Ooh. Well, you helped today with something. The 165 economy tyres have their limits, let's say. You just saw there, I think the comfort suspension just about let me get away with that, but they do have their limits. Oh, come on. And I don't think we'll need to shift into fourth. Gears are long enough. Although given this is only a 5-speed transmission, remember, and we've used 3 of the gears, so that's a thing to bear in mind. Oh. Yes, speed. It's so fun though, you know. Come on. I have to turn the wheel so much, but it's just at the same time it's fun having to engage in the drive in a way I guess more modern vehicles aren't. Like the rental car I built that ages ago, for example, that was just so polished in a way this isn't polished, but it's just amusing. It's amusing that you can chuck it about and have so much fun in the process. And it's pretty dangerous, as I was saying when I was building it. Most of these will probably end up in a tree somewhere. But that's okay, because as long as you're having fun, the danger just doesn't matter. Why was the first lap so slow? Come on. Yeah, I'm going very, very slowly. I'm going very slowly. Right, I'm going to try and be careful. I'm going to try and be careful around here. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was trying to be careful there, but it just meant I went wide. Oh dear. I have made it out of it, but I'm not going to go any quicker than my other ones. Oh dear. I'm just constantly fighting, that's the thing. I think the car is kind of dying now. Yeah. 1:16. It's a terrible time, but you know what? I don't care. Chances are the Kashira is never going to be this fun. A Kashira is probably going to restrict your fun, in fact. Even though the Kashira won't end up in the hedge, the driver will go past the hedge with a big frown on his face. Whereas the driver in the hedge will certainly be a lot happier. Ow. Come on, reverse. Yeah, I just had that impact on the front corner, and that did it. So, can we pull it out? This is actually rear drive, remember? So, the front wheel being broken shouldn't do anything to it. But then, maybe it's just automation physics, I don't know. Or you. Okay, I'm going to have to call it a day here. For whatever reason, it just isn't putting the power down. That's why. The wheel's lifted off the ground. But I'm going to have to call it a day here. Because it's just not able to put the power down. And I'm not going to get to a finish in this state. I think I just lost the front wheel. And I was basically going around the course without it. So 1:16 is okay, but I'm just ultimately fighting this car. It's imperfect, and I like it all the more for it. Okay, so just before the game crashed, the car was in a ditch, and I was going to say that it had just beaten the Pigeon from the 70s, and just come below the Concorde LS and Cedric Mark 1. Yes, a 60 horsepower sports car from the 1960s. Here you'll see is a more polished vehicle. Sure, you can fit your family in the back. It's front wheel drive, it's transverse, and it's got a 4-cylinder probably. I think it's a 4-cylinder. If I open the bonnet, maybe it'll show me. I probably shouldn't be doing this. Yeah, there we go. A 4-cylinder. Anyway, we should be able to actually go into the interior, because this does have an interior cam. Just needed to change some settings so that the actual speedometer in the far right corner showed up. And already this sounds more dull. It does have a half decent sound, but it's just not. It's not the boxer sound. Oh dear, it's understeering. It's okay. Took the first corner worse. That is unmistakably my fault, but I don't believe I've knocked any wheels off, so I think we can keep going. I think it just took a bit of abuse to the front bumper, most likely. Yeah. And it's just so predictable. I mean, I can only say nice things about this. Not because I don't want to be mean to it, but because compared to the other vehicle, that was actually a terrible car. I won't lie, it was a terrible car to drive, but it was just so engaging and so balanced, you know. You could chuck it around and just have fun with it. And then there's this. A car that reminds you have too many children. Oh dear, I think we can see the difference. Although this is almost certainly going to be quicker. We're going to go second. I know I'm going slow through here. It doesn't really matter. The gearing's so much longer as well. It does understeer a lot. So. Okay. What's happened there? I guess I'm going to give it the other 2 laps. It still deserves them. It's unfair to penalise this car, because the crash was my fault, really. I was being careless. Okay, so coming up to this second lap, we'll have to just ignore the time we get here, in case it does happen to be quite good. Although, as you'll see, it's already kind of better. Ooh. Again, that was just me messing up. Hey, I made the same mistake as before, so it is actually kind of fair now. Whoa, come on. Yeah, it's finding some traction, which is good. And we've got to hopefully get by. You do have to turn the wheel a lot on this. The other car, I don't think I did have to do that so much. It's just the natural tendency of front wheel drive to understeer. Ooh. Come on. Through here we go. Trying to slow it. Oh, got very close to that walk. Oh, the handling does not feel great here, where it's really stressed. Maybe an all-wheel drive version would feel different, but this is front-wheel drive. And I'm not shifting down. It doesn't feel like I necessarily need to. Second gear just feels like an everything gear in this car. Mind, the ride quality is incredible. Like, look at how it's filtering out these bumps. That is amazing, no doubt about it. But that amazing ride quality, you have to sacrifice so much to get it. Come on, this way. Slowing it into this corner. Whoa! Something hit me there at an awkward angle. That was slow, actually. I mean, the start I had into the lap probably weren't good, but that was actually a lot slower than I thought it might be. First gear here, because it feels like one of the places I can use it. Again, taking care, first gear. Light, power, second. I'm using first gear more now. Now I'm learning the course. Now I'm learning that these are tight corners are where first gear really is. It feels like I'm using a sequential 2-speed actually. The way I'm just shifting between first and second all the time. Again, the incredible ride quality. Filtration of bumps is just amazing, but it doesn't excite me. It just groans and grumbles at every possible corner. Come on. You may even be able to detect the boredom in my voice. It's not the same as before. And just as I expected. It's quicker, but at what cost? So, yeah. We have one car that wants to kill you, and another car which tries to hug you. And the one that kills you is kind of the one you want to spend time with. I don't know, it's a weird conundrum, this. What can I say? It's just such a hard comparison to draw, because what I've built is such a different beast from this Kashira. Yeah, the thing is that it even means I don't know. That's what the name means. Never has the name of this car been more relevant. Just, I don't know what to make of it. I guess this is a good car. I guess my car was a severe loss because it threw me off. But then this car did equally. This car just did it in another way. This car threw me off by trying to be safe too much. It tried too hard. It was... I guess this is like an overprotective mother of the car world. It was just overprotective of me. It was overprotective of me oversteering, rather. And as a result, I just understeered. And that caused just as big a problem as the oversteer. And... yeah, it's... not necessarily a better way of doing things, but... I'm sure most people in the real world would choose this. It probably gets better miles per gallon, that's likely not debatable. But then it's a lot heavier, so who knows for sure? Because these are heavy cars. Mine's a light-ish car, but the engine's quite highly strung for what it is. So anyway, with that being said and done, I'll leave it here for today and say goodbye until another day.